Hello everybody and welcome to the sportiest stream. Nice to see you all here tonight. We've got some best of sevens here, the Backline Championship Series. Here for the evening, two matches, two best of sevens. It's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna be exhausted by the end of it, but I think it'll be all worth it as you guys see the matches we have here, the Contenders series. Back on stream again, and we've got a lot of returning faces that we've seen earlier this season. Team Ignition, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization, the teams that we've been following a lot for this playoff bracket, and Affinity Academy also making their return after we last saw them at the end of a regular season. So, what are they? We're going to start with the lower bracket with Sloth Dojo Team Ignition. Winner moves on to the losers quarterfinals, I believe, and the loser. Alright, no, moves on to losers round 5 and into the top 8. The loser is out, as always, in the lower bracket. And following that will be Affinity Academy, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. In the upper brackets, it goes to the winners finals. Of course, first is that lower bracket match, Sloth Dojo, Team Ignition. We've already talked a lot about Ignition. We've already seen a lot of what they've done in the past on this stream. I don't think there's too much of an introduction. We've seen this team in the lower bracket. They've had to make a pretty long run ever since losers round 2, where their first win came against Demon. Now, what wasn't on stream was actually what they did in the next round, losers round 3. Where they played against Team Silence, and they actually beat them. Silence is that Team Silence side, not the exact same side, but a very similar side. Team Silence to what we saw got second place in the ATS Legends Cup. So for them to beat them in a 3-1, that's a very tough thing to do here. But they'll do it, and obviously now they get to play against Sloth Dojo. Here in this bracket is for Sloth Dojo. Their regular season was one of very solid performances, as most teams are at this point. They had a 6-1 record, that only lost coming to Team Silenced actually. Obviously, though, a decent run in that upper bracket, and obviously now they're in the lower bracket, so maybe take a look at it. There we go again there. A bracket run cut short by the champs who 4-0 swept them in the upper quarterfinals. Now, obviously, in the lower bracket, the losers bracket, as it's often called in the Backline Championship Series, they play against Team Ignition. The winner of this will play the winner of Adrenaline Rush and Stargazers Ixia for that for a spot in the top 6. So the lower bracket's not very, it's very slow work, but a lot of these teams are pretty useless at this point, although there's still, again, a good amount of teams that have dropped down. Obviously, Ignition have some runs in the lower bracket, but it's so tough to get these wins. So I starting to play against some of the top teams, those teams that, are going to make these big runs, and unfortunately, this bracket, this format is not very forgiving, so you don't get easy matchups, you don't get perfect matchups, you gotta play with the teams that are ahead of you. Yeah, that's what these sides will have to do here. Sloth Dojo. Get on the stream. We have not seen them at all this season, but a big best of 7 for them, and a big best of 7 for Team Ignition. Not just a best of 7 overall. As again, later on, we'll go to the upper bracket and see the matchup with Affinity Academy, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. Again, we'll get these teams in any moment here for this one. Prediction poll is live, so get your votes on. A lot of people would love to be involved in that, as again, just looking to get everything sorted out here. Again, can't wait for this matchup. This is one of those matchups that, at least for me, it just feels like it's on paper. It's going to be such a solid performance from both these sides. With it being a best of 7, with that actually being the first best of 7, Team Ignition in this bracket ever since they lost in the upper bracket. Winners round 1 to Sky High Ascent. Since gone on a pretty great run so far. If we see, I'm gonna go through many of the best of 5s just to get to this point. But and it could end at any point here, and so often it does with these upper bracket teams getting dropped down here. It's so easy for those teams to kind of have the momentum go against them, but we're seeing more and more today, and we're definitely seeing a lot more in this bracket. The evenness that it is at the teams that drop down. It really depends on how these teams react to deficits, to losing. Some teams do it just react better than others. In this bracket, really comes down to just which team can adapt better. And for Sloth Dojo, we'll have to see how they will do that, if they can. Yeah, no easy matchup. No clear, simple, I think, clean-cut way to see this. These teams are going to have to play pretty rough here. So again, we'll get more and more involved in these matchups. And just waiting on these teams to get their votes in on, again, both matches are best of 7, so they'll be a pretty long series. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm saying that next series after this could be a very interesting as for Sloth Dojo, the roster, they actually already told me who the roster is. It's going to be Craig, Tommy, and Joe tonight. And on Ignition, obviously, with Cody, Bingo Bride, and Ryan. And we'll just wait on both these teams to join in the lobby. As soon as they're here, we'll be good to go. Again, just getting things sorted out. Sorry about my eyes going all over the place. Just checking to make sure everything is looking good. We can start this match on time. Ignition on the orange again. They're always on the orange. It feels like every match. At some point, really should just move to the blue side just for a change of pace. But usually on the orange, and this is no different against Sloth Dojo. Again, part of the Sloth Square Nation organization that actually is on the stream quite often. They have tons of teams in the Blackline Championship Series. Most of them are pretty high level. They have a couple teams in the Premier Division. They have like 4 different teams there, which is pretty impressive because there's only 20 teams total. They have a ton of the teams in there, so a lot of teams high level. This is one of their lower ranked teams here in Sloth Dojo. Very fun org as well. Sandsbar being the org owner. As thank you for the gifted sub there, Big Bert. Thank you for the gifted sub. If you were gifted a sub there by Bert, go thank him because you really should. Here, as again, thank you so much for the gifted sub, Big Bert. Thank you so much for supporting the stream here, and while we're at it, we might as well get this series started on time here. We don't have much time to waste. A best of 7 matchup. Sloth Dojo versus Team Ignition. As is all things in the lower bracket, 1 loss, your season's over, 1 win, and you move on. It's such an unforgiving format. This is where teams are going to be put to their test. Team Ignition on the orange, Sloth Dojo on the blue, and for Ignition, they have not been playing in the best of 7s in a while here. Again, they sent it onto the lower bracket quite quickly on in a round 1 loss to Sky High Ascent. This time they've had to play 2 best of 5s just to get to this point, back to the best of 7s, but as you've seen already, those best of 7s might not be good for them here. So tough, you know, in those best of 7s, because it's longer matchups. You can so easily, you know, forget about how long those matchups are and really overthink things. Sloth Dojo, again, they had a little bit more experience in the upper bracket. Obviously now, in lowers, they gotta get used to this new situation where their lives are now on the line. Every single match they play could be their last. And as I said, teams getting better and better at adapting to that now. More, you know, every single day, every single time I see these teams play. And a lot of it just comes down to how well do teams adapt? Can the Sloth Dojo side adapt to Team Ignition? Can they make adjustments to this new position in the Contenders series final bracket? So far, they haven't really been able to break out of defense, but haven't conceded at all either. So, I don't know if there's mixed both ways here as a minute goes by. No goals for either side, but you get the sense Team Ignition, again, the experience in the lower bracket definitely helping them out here, but they aren't breaking through as a big 50 from Craig, and that will be Sloth Dojo at goal number 1. A miss from Cody, and it's about as simple as the play gets, just falls out in front, and Craig just a little bit better on it, a little bit more into the ball there than Ryan. And it is Sloth Dojo who will score first here. Again, the team coming from that upper bracket. Ignition, though, still has a lot to look to slow them down with here. Again, this Ignition side last season, we've made it to the top 6 before they eventually got out of the bracket. I'd love to be there this season. It felt like at the start of the bracket, that was not going to happen for them. They went, like, a loss so early to a team that you'd think they would beat in Sky High Ascent. There's a lot of questions, at least I definitely asked a lot of questions of how confident was this team really? Oh, for Team Ignition, the confidence seems to be just coming back to them, but oh, Sloth Dojo could 100% take it away from them here as Bingo Brian will clear the ball out. They're going as Bingo, but stopped by Tommy, and it's Sloth Dojo still on the ball here. They've got a 1-goal lead. They don't really have to score again here. Now is their time to play keep away and make Team Ignition chase. And for Ignition, this is not the kind of play style they like to play. They do not like chasing after the ball. They're already not known for being a very fast team, so it only makes things tougher for them when they are forced to have to play against a team that is utilizing that. far, though. No major concerns for Team Ignition. Only one goal scored against. Again, it was just a play that felt a little awkward for him. A dunk from Craig. That's it. That's all that's separating these two teams. Sloth Dojo gets another one. They nearly found it there in that infield pass. Will be kept out here. As Ryan, oh, what a dribble from him, Ryan. Getting more involved in the offense. And if there's anybody that can score for Team Ignition at any point, it would be him. You've seen just how good he can be on the offense. Sometimes this guy, if he plays his best, he is unstoppable. Well, I've already mentioned already about how Team Ignition did last season, again, making it, I believe, to the top 6 before losing. Yeah, top 6 before losing. Sloth Dojo was actually here in the Contenders series last season as well. But their run was not all that great. They lost in losers round 2. They barely made much of it in the playoff bracket. In fact, their only win was a forfeited win. Other than that, the only other series you'll recognize them from actually was the reverse sweep from FFV Sublime that we saw on the stream. That was a team they reverse swept in a best of 7, which has only happened on the stream, I believe, 3 times in history, so Dojo's on the history sheets for the stream, but not in the way they'd like to mention it, and I'm sure this series they'd love to be able to create some new history, some better history for them. I haven't been able to break through, but neither of Ignition. Game 1 still going by, but without really many goal-scoring chances. This game's going to end soon as Ryan nearly took that one in. An awkward play from Sloth Dojo nearly was an own goal at first, and well, it almost turned into an amazing dunk on the goal line. Team Ignition waiting for opportunities, but they can't wait much longer. Time is ticking away, and they won't get many chances left if they don't start looking for them. Craig. Bingo Brian. Off the corner. Tommy gets the 50, but still Bingo Brian. Craig still challenging. Ryan. Ignition pushing up field, but they will give up on the play there. As time winds down, they look to set up one more chance, but they may not even get it, because in comes Craig, a team captain, putting in his second, and for Sloth Dojo, that should secure game 1 for them as an errant touch there from Ryan, usually so careful at controlling the ball, but this one, a giveaway straight to Craig, and he will score off of that one. Sloth Dojo will take game 1 with that goal. It's Team Ignition, after this game, who might not start to realize their offense just isn't good enough right now. They're barely getting much of anything upfield, and so many of these touches are just getting sent right to Sloth Dojo. It's not the same Sloth Dojo that played last year, that got reverse swept on the stream by FFV Sublime. This Sloth Dojo side is better, is stronger, and is looking to continue their run through the lower bracket. It's Team Ignition right now, who just could not get it going on offense, as Craig with 5 shots. Same number of shots as Team Ignition combined. And as I said before, it feels like this Sloth Dojo side a little more aggressive, but that could just be by the fact that Craig is willing his team on offense. He's the one that's speaking behind it, that's telling the offense what to do. As we go into game number 2, we will look to continue that. Game 1, no goals for Team Ignition. Not many chances either. Again, 5 shots combined from the team. Not a very high amount, and none of those chances ever looked all too threatening. Had some opportunities where they're close to the net, but again, nothing I could think of that was really noteworthy that game, except for maybe that air dribble from Ryan midway through. Other than that, though, this team has been on a bit of a struggle here, as Dojo again trying to slow this Team Ignition side down to a halt and really just make them have to play as the weaker side. Because like playstyles like these are not all that impressive when you look at it in first glance, but they are so tough to do consistently. It requires a high level consistency, a high level play that you gotta keep up. And Sloth Dojo are trying to play that way, but Ignition have that ability to elevate, and again, if Ryan gets a goal, that might turn this team around, as here he goes, a chance for Bingo Brian, and it's set up beautifully by Ryan. Team Ignition will answer back, and we knew a goal was going to come at some point for the side, with them having some great chances on net. That is a beautiful play from Ryan, and as I said, if there's anybody who's going to bring the offense for Ignition, it will be him, and he does so right there. It's for Ignition, their first goal of the series. And it could not have come at a much of a better time. The Sloth Dojo looking to answer off the back wall. But it will just land in front for Bingo Brian to keep away. Sloth Dojo will have to head back. Joe. Here's a ball upfield. Still Joe, the 50 with Ryan. It's Ignition. We're going to keep this ball away. Sloth Dojo still just holding on. And again, you get the sense that both these teams haven't really done anything to elevate the play. They aren't trying to take too many major risks. It's just waiting for the opportunities. Now there's one given straight to Sloth Dojo. The pressure from Joe pulls not only Cody in, but Ryan as well. And it means Tommy's going to have the open end in front. Sloth Dojo will tie this game because of it. Sloth Dojo still looking for offensive chances right off the kickoff. This team not slowing down, and you'll love to see that from Sloth Dojo after that first goal. It's, you know, those kind of goals can give you so much confidence. Get the sense there, but that's a big miss in front. Multiple players committing there, but that shot from Bingo Brian doesn't have enough power on it. Maybe Sloth Dojo will allow themselves to take this ball away. Bingo Brian off the sidewall, leaving it for Ryan. Tommy comes for it early there. Sloth Dojo still on the offense here, and now their chance to inflict a little more pain. Again, it's tied up. If they can take that that game-leading goal, that would be a big chance for them. As Joe's done it there, off the back wall. Sloth Dojo brings their imprint, and it comes courtesy of Joe. A double tap, high off the back wall. Sloth Dojo. Ready for the answers. I love what people are saying. This is the battle of the first names. I just noticed that. Sandsbar, welcome in, my friend. Nice to see you. But yeah, this is the battle of the first names. I'm noticing everybody here in chat is just named their accounts after themselves. I absolutely love this. We've got... So rarely do we see that nowadays, but... Man, it's the classic at this level in Rocket League. If you can't find a good name to use, just use your own name. And it works a lot. Sloth Dojo maybe found another breakaway chance here as... Oh, what a fake from Cody. Team Ignition will keep the ball close, but Sloth Dojo still on the attack. Now they've got 2 goals. They want to make it number 3. They won't get it there. As Team Ignition routing the net. Again, very similar to last game here for Ignition. 1 goal down with not that much time left and not many chances to talk about. It will be them who can definitely come back in this game with how they've been playing in. They've got a goal already. Ryan and Bingo Brian working together on offense. And we can definitely see more of that from this side, although Sloth Dojo isn't giving them time to work with it. It's Tommy. The corner. Now he'll just go for the shot there, Cody! Not ready for it! And it's insurance for Sloth Dojo here on Forbidden Temple as a bit of an overcommit there from the team captain of Ignition. And that's going to really hurt them here. There's now less than a minute to go. Team Ignition, they've got to throw everybody upfield at this point. So they don't... Conceding goals doesn't matter anymore. It's all about getting goals because they haven't gotten much of it. Gotta get some soon. Bingo Brian. The sidewall looking to keep the ball close, but still no play working for them. Off Dojo, continuing just to clear the ball away, get rid of the pressure, and just prove that, again, they are just a better team right now, the more quality roster here than Team Ignition. It'd be so difficult. You know that the team you're playing against is just so much tougher to beat. But Team Ignition aren't giving up. Bingo Brian will put in his 2nd goal of the game here, and with 22 seconds to go, they are not out of it yet here. Team Ignition have a chance. Sloth Dojo, though, building the lead. That lead now under jeopardy. Team Ignition look ready to attack them. as Ryan, off the sidewall, won't actually go for one of his patented solo plays, but instead he'll leave it for Bingo Brian. Now in comes Ryan, but his touch is weak, and Sloth Dojo will have no issue clearing that ball out. Well, time is running out here for Ignition, and they actually might be able to get one more chance. Although Craig won't let them here, and that's going to be Sloth Dojo with game number 2, 2 games away from taking down Team Ignition and knocking them out of the bracket. And a quick work here for Sloth Dojo so far. This game, a little more high scoring than the last one, but still you could get the sense that their offense is just so solid at times. And they as a team are just better right now than Team Ignition. I don't even know how to really describe it. Both these teams are playing pretty similarly. I think it's just Sloth Dojo who are just a little bit better. Although I will say, giving credit to Team Ignition, the amount of shots they had in this game was quite astounding. 10 shots from Team Ignition. It definitely wasn't with a lack of trying, that's for sure. For Ignition when it came to playing in that game. They really did give their everything, but it just doesn't work all that easily when you just can't get upfield so often. This means this pressure will continue onward from Sloth Dojo as they look to go to match point in the series. Team Ignition, their whole season under jeopardy. Again, their only loss, before this bracket was to Dino Electronic, as well as I'm trying to think what was the other team's name that they lost to, as well as Yukon Blue. It was the only loss they've ever had, and they actually were both on this stream. But Team Ignition, again, their season's been one that has been actually very successful so far when it came to that regular season, but in the playoff bracket, that's when things can get so tough here as a great first chance from Bingo Brian. Nearly found the back of the net. Sloth Dojo ready to clear this ball away as now Craig won't get it, Joe won't either. And Sloth Dojo had a great chance there to go up by 1. The back wall left wide open by Team Ignition as they had all pushed upfield. Sloth Dojo definitely could have exploited that. They didn't though, much to the thankfulness I think of Ignition. The Sloth Dojo is still attacking, and we already know that once this team gets a goal up, Ignition struggle to really find an answer. Sloth Dojo looking to do that here. Great touch out for Craig, but Ryan will keep him out. Cody. Actually, it's an Aaron touch to his back wall. Joe's jumping for it, and Team Ignition maybe not playing as cautiously as we have seen them do before. So again, you're seeing that panic for a team like Ignition. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, Sloth Dojo recognizing they're doing a lot of things right here where Team Ignition's rotations are falling apart. Eventually, they're going to break through because of it, as maybe this is their chance, but Joe's touch will go well wide of the nets, and Ignition will just keep control here as Ryan with the flick. Tommy to beat him, though, and that net's wide open. It's Tommy's touch. It will go all the way to the net. And again, Sloth Dojo with the first score, as again Ryan with an Aaron touch forced out by Sloth Dojo. And Ignition sending so many players up to that midfield, but it didn't work for them. A challenge early on Ryan will prevent any opportunities for Ignition to go in their favor. Sloth Dojo not done there. Looking for goal number 2, and they may get it by Tommy, but Woody will be there, and Ignition staying calm for now, even if they are a goal down. Still a lot more games to go, although that does mean a lot more chances for Sloth Dojo to do exactly that. As again, the panic on full display here, that touch from Brian, trying to find Ryan there, but it goes behind him, and it's an awkward touch to make. Ryan cannot touch with any piece of the ball, and Sloth Dojo scored their second goal, looking to take game free here and really run away with it. Although, again, still a lot more time left, and if we know anything about Ignition, we saw last game that they don't need much time to form some sort of a comeback and really put the pressure and the questions into our mind. As Tommy, great second touch, but Team Ignition who will wait for it now as Ryan off the back wall will be wide of the net as Sloth Dojo will challenge. It's Joe who's been so insane in the air already. He looks for another play. Nearly got the dunk on Brian to work in his favor. Sloth Dojo still have the ball, but they won't be able to get a chance off it. Ryan will keep this play away, and Team Ignition will go upfield again as Bingo Brian, this one, wide of the goal. Ryan now. Joe won't get there. Bingo Brian's got an open net to take, and that's going to be Ignition with 1 goal back. Once again, Ryan and Bingo Brian on the offense. Connecting on the passes, connecting on the plays. No end in sight between these two when it comes to making the offense. With 2 minutes left, they have a lot of time to come back. They won't even need that much time. Only 3 seconds later. And it's all tied up off the kickoff. As Joe went aggressive there, I think Tommy wanted to keep the ball low, but he got under it and he flipped the ball up. It's about as bad of a kickoff as it can be for that position. Team Ignition will take it. This game tied up as they look to stun the Sloth Dojo defense. As I said, it doesn't take Ignition very much time to form those comebacks. So look to continue it here as we hear from Cody, Joe. Bingo Brian will meet him, but Sloth Dojo let them take the lead again, and they may get it with Tommy in for Joe! And that is the lead again for Sloth Dojo. One step ahead, one play better than Ignition. And again, you're seeing the chaos on the Ignition defense. They can't deal with the pace, they can't deal with the pressure. Sloth Dojo is keeping them at bay. With it being a best of 7, makes the potential for a comeback for Team Ignition all that much more difficult. It is still possible here, but they would still love to take Game 3 if they can. They still have time for it, as Ryan, light touch, will be kept away by Craig. Sloth Dojo will, once again, just slow the play down and try to waste the time of Team Ignition here. It's a more systematic beating, I think, for Sloth Dojo. Only putting themselves one step ahead. Don't need to exert more than they need to, and you get a sense that once this team's in the lead here for Sloth Dojo, they play entirely different than when they are not in the lead. They're not as chase heavy, they're not as aggressive, they definitely sit back a lot more, they definitely take less chances, less risks, and again, it's such an interesting shut off here for Sloth Dojo. It has worked, again, in all these games so far, because once they're in the lead, it's so tough for Ignition to fight back against them. That's Sloth Dojo. Oh, it's a miss there, but Bingo Brian won't get the shot on as he wanted to. Sloth Dojo will, at least for now, keep that ball away. Joe, once again, challenged by Ryan. Team Ignition. Final seconds of offense here in game number 3 with match point on line for Sloth Dojo. But can they hold it? No, they won't. In front for Bingo Brian. And a miss there will allow him to complete his hat trick and keep Team Ignition in it. A miss from Tommy, and Bingo Brian nearly missed it at himself, but he'll find it, he'll take it, and the Ignition are still well and truly in this match. Sloth Dojo. Now this game's tied. Will we see them go back to a more aggressive side? Here we go. At 0 seconds, Tommy to net. Ryan will keep him out, but he won't get the follow-up touch. That'll be left for Cody, and it will go to the ground as we'll head into overtime. Match point on line for Sloth Dojo. They win here, and they're in about as perfect a position as you can be in this series. Always one step ahead of it. Ignition. Now you just need to do it one more time here in this game. But how often they've been beaten on the challenges here, with how willing Ignition is to play to the Sloth Dojo playstyle. How much they're learning about Sloth Dojo. Get a sense Ignition can come back in this matchup, albeit it won't be an easy one, with how much defense they'll have to play to do it. Craig now off the back wall. Miss from Bingo Brian, and that's going to end game 3. Tommy's got to net the shootout, and he won't miss. Sloth Dojo are 1 game away from going to the top 6. An awkward situation, and actually I meant to say top 8, I believe, is actually where they'd be if they win this one. But no matter what it is, Sloth Dojo are 1 game away from taking the series. Because yeah, again, if you win here, you're going to that top 8, and Ignition right now is getting outplayed everywhere in the field right now. Again, the Sloth Dojo side is just 1 step ahead always. Well, Ignition have gotten better and better every single game. You can say the same thing about Sloth Dojo. Really not much of separation between these two sides comes to how they're playing. So we'll head into game number 4. Ignition, their season could be one game away from being over. And Sloth Dojo would love to take it here. Our first of 2 matches tonight, maybe ending in a 4-0 sweep, unless Ignition have anything to say about it. Every game has been a 1-goal difference for Ignition. They've just not been able to complete the comebacks. Sloth Dojo are the ones to benefit. Now their chance to take this series. Ignition continue to try to sort their chaos on defense. Team like Ignition, who's been together for such a long time, positions like these are positions they are used to, but they don't become any easier, that's for sure. Sloth Dojo, inside the first 30 seconds. Tap in front for Joe, who I believe scored the overtime winner for them last game. He'll score the first goal this game, continue on his scoring rampage. Sloth Dojo to continue what they've started as... Ooh, a backflip there! Might be a chance on! It's saved by Joe as Tommy better be thanking him a lot because his backflip created that opportunity. Team Ignition were ready to take it, and they nearly did too. Sloth Dojo will be out of that play unscathed. I don't know if they'll stay like that forever, though, for every single play, because as we've seen already, Ignition, our team that can make comebacks, they just haven't been able to complete them. Although maybe we'll see if that isn't possible this game, because Joe has scored again, and Sloth Dojo again just waiting on the mistakes. Cody there and Bingo Browning both missing the ball. And for Joe, it's basically given to him at this point. At the level that these players are playing at, those kind of shots are pretty routine and pretty easy. For Team Ignition, it's just going to hurt them even more. As this game right now is not easily within reach of this Ignition side. Sloth Dojo continue their offense, looking for yet another goal on the score sheet. For Ignition, there's probably a lot of thoughts going through their head. I'm certain that none of them are very positive. The lower bracket is ruthless. And teams aren't going to play easy against you. And one bad series, one misstep will end your season. And for Ignition, this might be their final hurrah. Unless, again, they can come back, which they haven't been able to do all series long. Sloth Dojo continuing to keep them at arm's length away. Set up another chance. Ryan will have the first touch on that one. It's around Craig, although Craig Stunk will keep the ball with Sloth Dojo's. Tommy was in the perfect position for it. And Sloth Dojo continue just to play patient, just to wait for the plays to come to them. Again, this play style slows down Team Ignition. Really utilizes the clock against them here. You know, already we're at the point where we have less than 3 minutes to go. It's felt like a pretty quick match so far between both these sides, and it really hasn't been. We've seen 2 goals already. And again, we've been through 2.5 minutes of gameplay at this point. That isn't a lot of time, but it isn't a little amount of time either. It's definitely enough time for Ignition, as we've seen already this series, make comebacks, but Sloth Dojo aren't giving it to them. Cody off the back wall. Ryan will jump too, and everybody from the Team Ignition getting involved in the offense, but that play will die down for them as a miss from Tommy. Wait a second, Cody's jumping in, but he won't get the touch. But he does set up Ryan off the ceiling. Triple commit from Sloth Dojo to keep that play away. And Ignition now in control, but not for long. Resetting in the midfield. It will be Sloth Dojo who will slowly let this ball go to their corner and take it from there. That net's wide open. Tommy's going to have it, and where on earth was Ignition on that play? Did they double commit in the midfield there? Oh, they did. Cody and Ryan both jumped at the same ball there, and Sloth Dojo with another one that they're going to take easily here. As Joe involved in all the goals so far for this side. Feels like Team Ignition just has given up at this point. I mean, it's so easy to do so with how bad the series has gone for them. It really felt like that game 3 was their moment for them, where they had to win. After that, the Ignition side has just not been able to regain that same level of confidence. And I think we're seeing that here displayed on the field. As they'll still look for one this game, but Craig will keep them out. Ignition will have to try again a different time. The play from Sloth Dojo continuing to suffocate Team Ignition here on the back line. This again, Team Ignition, who just cannot seem to take the lead, find a way back, take control of the series, even though they've had chances of coming back. They have not been able to complete them. And in Game 4, this is quite literally a must-win situation for them. It's as simple as this. They lose, their season's over. 56 seconds left. For Team Ignition. Once again, it's Ryan who's on the score sheet, but once again, can they make the comeback? We haven't seen them do it at all this series. They've come close, but they've just not been able to do it. Here in Game 4, what is that extra little bit? What is that extra oomph, that extra power and offense they need to finally complete a comeback? Here against the Sloth Dojo side that has everything going in their favor. Team Ignition continuing to try to challenge the ball here as Bingo Brian. Joe will keep it off the corner. Still challenging here is Bingo Brian. Joe again. Challenged by Ryan. Ignition off the back wall. With 10 seconds to go, they've got to score here, but that chance will be easily kept out by Tommy. And Sloth Dojo will clear the ball away. A 4-0 sweep over Team Ignition. They knocked them out of the tournament for Team Ignition. Their season is over, but for Sloth Dojo, their run in the lower bracket has begun here. A beautiful start, a confident sweep over Team Ignition. And their season continues while Ignition's, theirs will end here. A tough end for this side, but they've, admittedly, for how Ignition has been playing this season, being a team that's had to watch so many other teams around them get better and better, it's actually quite impressive to see the amount of growth this league has had. Well, Ignition doing very well to stay close to the top of the league. But it is Sloth Dojo who just are better right now. Ignition will end their season in that top 12, which I'm sure for them will actually be a pretty good, not a bad finish for them. Again, with them getting top 6 last season, it was going to be infinitely difficult to recreate that. And, well, for Sloth Dojo, actually improving since last season. Again, last season they struggled in that playoff bracket. This season, things have changed. Sloth Dojo again will take that win. 4-0 sweep. A interesting start to our day here. I did not expect this series to be a sweep. In fact, if there's any match to be our sweep, it would be our next one with Dino Electronic versus Affinity Academy, but as again, that match is part of the upper bracket. Says again, a big series. Sloth Dojo will be taking the win there. Again, our next match, Affinity Academy versus Dino Electronic. That's going to be another best of 7 series. Again, in the upper bracket, our final series of the night. Again, what a match. I'm excited. That really was a great series. A good start to the day. Unfortunately for Team Ignition, I love this team. I've seen them so often. It sucks that, obviously, their night ends, their run ends there, but again, it's always fun to get to see Cody and, you know, on the stream. He's been on the stream for such a long amount of time. Again, for them, I'm sure they won't be too unhappy with, even if that performance does mean it just falls short of what they wanted to do this season. Still, again, a solid performance, and I have a feeling, going aside from Team Ignition, they're going to be back next season, and they're going to be as strong as they can be. Is Dream Station still in the bracket for the Premier Series? That's a whole different division. I don't know about that. Let me check for you, my friend. I do have the brackets all kind of at quick access here. As they're playing against Evolve Kill Haku this week. That helps you. They'll be back. Oh, Ignition will be back. Yeah, they will. Again, yeah, Dream Station is in the Premier Series, is in the lower bracket right now. They play against Evolve Kill Haku this week. Maybe we'll get that series. Depends when they have it scheduled. I don't control that, so if it does happen to be on my stream, great. If not, oh well, it happens. I haven't actually been able to stream anything for the Premier Series playoffs this whole season. Very, very busy. And again, for now, match that is. As you guys can see on a little bar at the bottom, Affinity Academy, Dino Athletic Organization will be next. We'll go take a break. When we come back, the upper bracket for the Contenders series will be live here, another best of 7 series. So don't go away. We'll be here very soon with more Blackline Championship Series action. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sportiest stream. Nice to see you all here again. We've got one more match tonight, Affinity Academy taking on Dino Electronic Athletic Organization in a best of 7 series here. We've already seen Sloth Dojo 4-0 sweep Team Ignition out of the bracket. Of course, we've got some insane action here later on. Affinity Academy, Dino Electronic. We've seen both these teams actually in this league already this season. We've seen obviously Dino Electronic with their incredible playoff run. But for Affinity Academy, the last time we saw them was, I believe, during the regular season. And regular season was that final week when they had to play against the Gobblers. They'd win. That guaranteed them a spot in this bracket. And so far, this bracket, they have been an unstoppable force here. Affinity Academy have turned up the Jets here, which is so weird because as you see, other than them, all the top teams here are undefeated sides that have dominated their groups and have continued to do that in the final bracket, which what I find so ironic about Affinity Academy is that they're in this final bracket and they're a bit of a weird team for it here. But of course, they are here for a reason. They've played well enough. They've got their wins over Lux Nova and Team Silenced. So again, they deserve the spot to be here against Dino Electronic. But seen already, Dino Electronic as outside, basically unstoppable as well. They've been undefeated. They've swept Hydro Boost, but they swept what was the previously undefeated Calgary Sports United. These guys are absolutely incredible, really solid players. So I'd be surprised to see more out of that from them here in our upcoming match. If we take a look at these lineups, obviously we already know who's on Dino Electronic. We've seen this roster before. It's Laura, Spoody, and Covey. The other side for Affinity Academy, they have a ton of players, 5 and a coach. Coach being Tomato, who is actually one of the players for Affinity Reborn, which is the main team of the organization, which is also by the same name, Affinity Reborn. So yeah, he's teaching this team, but the player that is pretty recognizable here, probably Yoli. Although again, we've seen all these players before on stream. All these players have been on teams in the past. Haas was on Striker Esports. Shay's been on Affinity on a couple of different teams of Affinity, obviously leading Affinity Academy. And Yoldi was probably most recognizable on Golden Iron Esports Black in the past when they won the Golden Cup on this stream. So they've been in a couple different tournaments in a couple different places. Obviously in the Blackline Championship Series, this is a pretty tough place to be. You know that players again are solid. They definitely have the ability to do well. So we'll see how it works here. And we're just looking to get things sorted out. Hopefully it's ready to go as soon as we get confirmation from these players that they're, good to go here. Or what will be again a best of 7 here in the upper bracket. Affinity Academy, the vast underdogs in this matchup. But again, they have had that underdog run all season long, and in this playoff bracket, that underdog run again has manifested itself in the playoffs. Feels like Affinity as an org are just doing really well in the playoff brackets. Again, that Affinity Reborn side, I believe, is in the Premier Series? Or no, they're not. They're in the Champions Division, not the Premier's Division. The Champions Division. I know they're still playing in that division. Their current match against the Wolf Kyohaku, are they? Are they actually? They might actually be in the Premier Division. Maybe I was right, or maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't remember. They're here somewhere. Where are they? Yeah, there they are. They're in the Champions Division. They're still in the playoff bracket for that, although they actually are playing against Mach 10 in the lower bracket for that, so that's going to be interesting. They had not have a good time in that bracket. But again, solid players this season. And this is in the Contender Series, and in the Contender Series, a lot of times the teams that do win are the ones you expect to, the ones that have had insane seasons. But that's what's so interesting about Affinity Academy. They have not had that insane season. They struggled, actually, in their season. Again, they did not guarantee their spot in the playoff bracket until the final week when they beat the Gobblers in what is actually the strongest group this season. In fact, that group was so strong, 5 of the 8 teams got invited into the bracket, not the usual 4. So, again, very rare that the Blackline Championship Series ever does that, but it shows you how solid of a group they are in, and for them to be, at the top of that, near the top of that group, gotta be impressive. Even if the record was 5-2 to be there. I was in the playoff bracket against Dino Electronic. Dino Electronic, again, I consider probably the strongest team in this playoff bracket here, and probably the team that's most likely to win the whole thing. So far, they've proven me correct on that, but this match against Affinity Academy will definitely be an interesting one, because unlike a lot of the other matches, this is a team that has surprised a lot of people, making it this far. Again, I would not be surprised if they are successful. And Affinity Academy have definitely proven they can do that well. As I actually got to update the stream info. 1 second. Me quickly. That's for you guys. Again, for the Contenders series, the Backline Championship series, what we just saw get played on the stream, again, about an hour ago, so again, we'll get these teams in as soon as we can. Making sure everything is good to go, sorted out for this best of 7. Really, the question for me now is, who's Affinity Academy going to be playing tonight? We have a lot of good players. I would assume probably it's going to be like Shay, Unity, and Taz, but it could be any other subs. They have a pretty solid sub core with the players they have. Obviously, you don't want to play with your sub in this matchup, and I doubt they're playing with their sub without early this matches. And generally, when teams schedule matches early, it's because all their starters are available. That works here for them, as again, neither team wouldn't be out of this division if they lose here, but and we'll see what it will be like here as it's sorted out here. And both these teams should be joining in about a minute or so. Marine Academy, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. Both these teams have put in the work. You don't win this Contenders division without putting in work. Seeing actually a good amount of Affinity fans in here. I would love to see that. A ton of Underdog fans. I love Underdog stories. Would love to see Affinity Academy make the run. I'm friends with both of these teams. I'm definitely friends with the Affinity Reborn organization. So I love both these teams. These are really fun teams to watch. It's one of those matchups where I think for Affinity Reborn, work's going to be on them. Dino Electronic, again, have only swept teams in this bracket so far. In fact, I don't actually know when the last time they even dropped the game was. It might have been... I don't even know when it was. They have not dropped the game in a while. It was when they played against Sky Ascent. That's the last time they actually dropped the game. And actually, that was the match on the stream that went to an insane Game 5. Actually, that was one of the best matches I've seen of all time. Although, unfortunately, with Sky Ascent, they weren't able to create that in the playoff bracket. They're already out of the playoff bracket, being lost last week. So, Dino Electronic again, I think their group, because with the loss of Team Ignition having just happened, they're the only team left actually out of their group, which I guess isn't too surprising. It's not uncommon. There's a million different groups in this league, so there would be some groups that only have one, or maybe not even any teams showing up anymore in this bracket. We're getting into that top 12. Not too surprising. As again, we'll see both these teams here. Joining in is Shay, Haz, Yoli on the other side is it's Aura, Spoody, and Kofi. So it is the usual starting lineup for both these sides. As again, what a series this will be, a best of 7 matchup. Again, a match I am excited for, and I think you guys are excited too. We got a lot of people running in the stream now to watch this series, and for good reason. This is probably our biggest match of the night. Definitely an important match, that is for sure, because both these teams, that winner's final spot, there's only 2 teams that can get there. This will determine one of them here in the winner's semifinals for Affinity Academy and Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. A big series, a best of 7 for a spot in the winner's finals of the Contenders series. These teams have done well to get here. They still gotta win though, and that's gonna be a tough start as Unity already off the kickoff, making life difficult for Dino Electronic. And as I've said, the matches only get tougher for these teams. I don't expect this series to be very one-sided. Well, good start for Affinity Academy. As Yoli brings them mechanics, and that is something that Yoli's always been known for, has been those mechanics, so I'm gonna get to see that continue to show up on the stream. With Dino Electronic, their playstyle gonna be much more pass-oriented, much more chemistry-oriented, and they're going to see that happen a lot, but this is a mistake here, and Aura will take that goal. 12 seconds in, we've got 2 goals from these sides, and yeah, this one just off of a double whiff from Haz and from Unity. They score on one end of the field, they can see it on the other. Affinity Academy with a bit of a rocky start here. They started off so well, then they flip back to not so well. I think both these teams are just trying to get used to this series, which is fair for teams that have never played each other before. Game 1, always kind of that feeler game, that game to test each other's, emotions, how they're feeling for the day, and what kind of playstyle they're going with. Often you see teams intentionally not take risks in this game because they know it's not at that point of the series where they really should do that. One of those things where you just test teams, you just see kind of who's playing, how they're playing, why they're playing, and then you succeed because of how you learn. As Covey got that goal untouched by Affinity Academy. I have no clue how Yoldi... Oh, Yoldi just completely overshot that one. I was wondering how Yoldi didn't make contact with it. Now we see. It's another mistake from Yoldi on the back line is not helping Affinity Academy's chances. Dino Electronic, again, they're going to have a lot of adversity. This is an Affinity Academy side that, like any Affinity Academy, any Affinity Reborn team on this organization, loves to keep things close and will definitely surprise you in different ways. Surprised there off of that pinch, but nobody from Affinity was there to challenge. Now Yoldi will send this one down the field. It's Dino Electronic, who so far have actually had to play a lot more defensively than you usually see this team. Again, they're getting a taste of the pressure at this level. Affinity Academy is only one of a couple teams that can win this whole tournament. Again, Dino Electronic, another one. Really, any team in this upper bracket can win the whole thing. Doesn't make life easy for any of these teams, but it definitely shows you just how scary the Contenders series really is and just how consistent you have to be. There's so many teams at this level that are just that good. Gotta be prepared to meet them here as Spoody. In front, Yoldi will keep it away. Is now off the back wall. Dino Electronic looking to continue the offense. Spoody won't make contact there. Haas couldn't get the ground pinch. He'll be bounced by his own teammates, and Affinity Academy doing well to win these plays of the ball, but not really making much progress. And one clear from Dino Electronic will set them all the way back and make them restart from square one as Covey in front will allow Yoldi to clear that one for Affinity as a fall from Spoody, and then it's wide open. Dino Electronic will make it 3-1. Again, you're seeing the struggles that Dino Electronic are having to face, but still, they're the better side right now. They're taking the openings, they're scoring off them too. Dino Electronic. A little bit of insurance here midway through game one. They're getting another one there. Covey, once again, going to lead that offense. We saw him do it in their last series against Calgary Esports United. Was Covey who really was the offensive scorer. Oh, there's a mistake here in front. That's going to be a goal for Aura. Any mistake is going to hurt them here. Affinity Academy, well, that play is going to hurt them a lot. That's about as preventable as it can be at this level. And against a team like Dino Electronic, who are already looking like the better side, it doesn't make things better for you when you make mistakes like that. That only make it tougher. Dino Electronic just... that's what's so scary about this side. Even against some of these really talented teams, they'll always find a way to really put up a ton of goals. Once they get one, they always find more. And they're so consistent at it too. This is not like a one-time thing. If you haven't seen this team before, to me when I say this, this team does this often. Dino Electronic love to outscore their opponents by multiple goals. For Affinity Academy, again, game one is just a tester game, just a feel-out game. I don't think this is going to be reflective of how they'll play this series. This feels like they're a bit panicky, a bit unorganized. That's what game one is here for. So often these best of sevens. Game one is for teams just to kind of get back to each other. Get used to, playing in this kind of setting. It really is the rest of the series. That can be a lot more telling on how teams' play style will work. As a Dino Electronic continue the scoring here. Spoody's got his second as a demo, I think, from Aura. Gonna make that even easier for them, and we have not seen a lack of demos from Dino Electronic. Definitely something newer from them. I don't think we've seen them nearly as bump heavy in the past, but we're seeing this playoffs them really start to utilize that, and I think it's such a smart idea because at this level, defenses have gotten so good, you have to rely in some form of demos to beat the other side. It just isn't feasible anymore to win just based off of pressure. So many times we're seeing a kind of a shift to quicker paced offenses, maybe not so much on holding the ball, but getting that ball into the offensive half and quickly eliminating the boost and the chances of the other side. As another challenge from Dino Electronic and another goal. Spoody's made it free for himself. And I mean, This game has felt close at times, but the scoreline definitely argues otherwise. It's Affinity Academy off to a slow start. But for Dino Electronic, this is business as usual for them. And again, it's surprising that I say it like that, but this is how they've played in so many other series. That's why I say this is probably the team that's most likely to win the whole thing. I mean, against Affinity Academy, again, it deserves to be a shoot-in for that, that #1 overall spot. They're getting destroyed quite badly here. Dino Electronic giving them about as tough of a battle as it can be. And again, this is consistent from Dino Electronic. Expect them to do this again and again. Expect Affinity Academy to have to find ingenious ways to prevent them from scoring. Dino Electronic will find ways to score. They will find ways to create offense, and they will find ways to find the net as Spooty looking for another one. That's just off the post. He'll go for it again, though. That's also off the post. But it won't matter. Dino Electronic are already up by 5. They don't need another goal. The series will start off in favor of Dino Electronic, as just like we've seen them do before. This team is so confident as a double flip reset past that one off the crossbar and down. Dino Electronic going for some flair at the end of that game, but again, they're the team that's been confident at times. Need to find ways to continue that confidence, because for Affinity Academy, they are going to look for ways to exploit that, and it's just so tough to do. So again, Dino Electronic are such a solid roster. Every player here is so good. We go into game number 2. It's Dino Electronic who, once again, find ways to just be on a whole nother level. As the series continues onward, it's Affinity Academy who are going to really notice soon enough why I consider this team the best in the league. In the Contenders series, I'd say. And it's because, again, of games like this. They do this often. They're going to do it consistently. And then in Affinity Academy, while I do expect them to be a good battle for Dino Electronic, they're going to struggle. Dino Electronic's offense and their ability to score goals, even in matches that do feel close, is that consistent, is that difficult. It feels like to beat Dino Electronic, you have to hope that they play badly. And they have not done that yet this bracket. They have not had a bad series. They've not had a series where they look completely out of it. They've had games where maybe things have gotten a bit slower, but never games where you really can count them out. But they will get scored on here. Affinity Academy with the early goal once again. As a back pass from Kobe just isn't powerful enough, and Aura hesitates there. Allow the demo to come in from Haas, and Yoli will score that one. And allow Affinity Academy maybe some time to breathe here in game number 2, try to take things back. As a goal goes in from Spooty here. And Electronic enter back with an open backfield there. And you just see again off the back wall, Affinity Academy just too slow. And again, the Dino Electronics offense is just... The thing about it is they can hold pressure, but they often don't need to. So often you just see that offense. It's quick offense, it's quick attacks, it's quick plays. And again, the speed of Dino Electronic is not easy to compete with because they do play with a pretty fast pace. Again, everything about this Dino Electronic team, they do it pretty well. And there's generally not many weaknesses about them. Again, the only way I can see it, I've ever seen teams been able to even, contest them in a series has been when Dino Electronic don't play well. Which doesn't happen often, and when it does happen, so often it's just for a game. You really only get a sneak peek at what this team can look like at their worst. Nobody in the season so far has been able to really put up much of a battle to Dino Electronic and take them down. And Dino Electronic look to keep it that way as Aura by himself will put the powerball in the shot, and he'll take the follow-up with him too. As his initial play, Shay keeps him out, but again, Dino Electronic just so fast, just so tough. How on earth do you stop them? It was a question I asked last series when they played before on this stream. Again, last series when they played against Calgary Sports United, again, a team that was, at that point in the season, undefeated, had not lost a single series. they got whooped in that matchup. Like, it was not even close. Dino Electronic controlled every part of the series, and while Affinity Academy are a better roster, you still get that same feeling, that same understanding that you do get the issues here that are plaguing these sides, as Affinity Academy will answer back. It's tied at 2 here, as again open space from Dino Electronic, and again hesitancy there, but this time from Spoody, who recognizes it. If he challenges and he doesn't get it, Aura's not going to be in position, but this one continues onward. Affinity Academy doing well to continue to answer back, to continue to be a nuisance. And for Dino Electronic, again, they have not dropped a single game yet this playoff bracket, but you do feel like in this series, Affinity Academy, they should not be swept. They are playing well enough that a sweep seems unlikely, but it could happen here as Dino Electronic continue to score. And this is the second time in the series they've scored out of that 50-50 from the corner. Just Affinity Academy just aren't ready for these challenges, and again, you just see that backline break apart, push themselves upfield, and force themselves to play far too aggressively. Again, just these simple 50-50s, these simple challenges are running their way through. Affinity Academy once again having to force their way to have to come back in this match, but again, it's not unlikely. We've already seen them do it twice, score twice already this game. A third doesn't seem like an impossibility for them, especially with it still half the game to go, but Dino Electronic have not been able to score so easily this game. Still, again, they feel a little bit better. I just feel like Affinity Academy have been able to refine their play style and, catch Dino Electronic on where there's been a lot of open space, and Dino Electronic are giving them these opportunities here. We're seeing the breakdown of Dino Electronic. So often they can play that aggressively because they don't have to worry about it, because teams don't play that way against them, but Affinity Academy is a solid team. You can't give them open nets. They're going to score on them. And Dino Electronic are going to have to play a little bit more reserved. This aggressive nature just isn't working. It's giving up far too many goals. And Affinity Academy, again, they're a team that will take advantage of mistakes. We've already seen them do it this game. It's Dino Electronic. So far, I've overcommitted a couple times. But still the ones that hold control is Spoody. He'll drop that one down. Kobe now will chop this one in. Yoli will jump forward. He'll get a piece, but not enough. As again, Dino Electronic, no matter how many mistakes they make, they always bounce back. It's like a game. It's like the Boppe Gophers game. You knock down one, and two more Gophers appear, and they just continue to attack back. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization will not be stopped here in their pursuit for game number 2. Affinity Academy cannot shake them off. No matter how hard they try, as Spoody will clear this ball away. Still, he'll challenge this one. Cleared back by Yuldi. His touch. Bit weak, but Dino Electronic will give him the space again. It's them waiting in the back line, waiting for the play to come to them. So often Affinity Academy have taken advantage of that, but Electronic's defense has been trustworthy enough that they haven't been too disappointing. Again, a lot more of the goals have come from overcommits and have come from defensive misrotations. At this point of the game, with a minute to go, expect Dino Electronic to maybe sit back a little bit more, to not be nearly as aggressive when it comes to trying to get goals. Instead, more aggressive when it comes to getting challenges. Going to wait a lot more in the midfield. They're going to let the ball, they're going to allow Affinity Academy to play those 50-50s. They want Affinity Academy to do the slow style of offense that will waste their time, will give them less chances overall. So far, they've succeeded well. Only half a minute to go, and it's Dino Electronic who are in the lead by a solitary goal. In fact, they may make it too, because a demo in the backfield leaves the net open, but Oz will be there. And it's Dino Electronic still attacking. This is just wasting more time for Affinity Academy, time that they desperately need. Azora, stopped by Shea. Govey clears it back, and he'll look for a net, but Yuli will keep him out. And his touch will go wide, but straight to Dino Electronic. Shea won't get to it. Dino Electronic, keeping the ball up, but they want this one to hit the ground, and they will let it do so. A fake for more, and that is game number 2. It felt like Affinity Academy poured all of their heart and soul into it, but they just could not get enough out of it. It was Dino Electronic who always found an answer, who always popped back. 11 shots to 7. It was a closer matchup, but still, Dino Electronic proving to us why they are one step ahead of the competition. 2 games away from taking out Affinity Academy. Again, as I've said, I believe this is going to be a 4-0 sweep like the last series was for Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. I think this is more likely going to be a match that might go to Game 6. Affinity Academy, again, are playing close. They're playing competitive. I felt like last game they had the chance to take that game there, and I really do feel like this series is one where they can, bring the pressure to Dino Electronic, but they just, again, have not been the better side. There's been little intricacies that have been in favor of Dino Electronic, the pace that they're playing, the offense they're going with, and the ferocity that they're doing this at which Affinity Academy are scared right now, and for good reason. Dino Electronic are bringing the offense to them, are bringing the battle to them. A lot of it comes down to these demos, these bumps. Like something that we haven't seen from Dino Electronic all that often in the regular season, but now in the playoff bracket, becoming a lot more prevalent and a lot more useful. It is Affinity Academy. The first shot that game, it will be kept away by Covey. Another one here, he's giving up that side wall, still going as Covey here, as he'll be one-on-one with Duality, but will be kept away, and the Academy will look to clear the ball back. Shea now. Booty. Great first touch. It's Aura with the ball. Affinity Academy trying to find any way to challenge, but nothing has gone through. Demo should open up space for them, as has. Challenged still by Covey, and again, that's how little time to get against these guys. They give you little time to work, little time to breathe. Really does make things all that much more difficult for Affinity Academy. And the fact of the matter is, when they get chances, they don't have a lot of time to make them work, but they do have enough. As a breakdown in front of the net will leave the net open for Haz as that touch from Spoody, and he just panicked there. He didn't know if there was going to be a player that would challenge him or not, and he jumped early, not realizing nobody from Affinity Academy was actually there for it. This touch will only give the ball away. It's Affinity Academy who will score right off of it from Haz. Once again, they score first in these games, and once again for Dino Electronic, we're seeing their struggles, their panic, their missed rotations. Affinity Academy is making this tough. So far, the fact that Dino Electronic are leading by 2-0 in the series is actually quite impressive, and was definitely not an expected start for this side with how Affinity Academy have been playing. It is Affinity right now who are looking to create more offense. Saw last game that none of their leads ever held for that long, and Dino Electronic look to how to repeat that here in game number 3. Take match point. It is going to be cleared in the midfield. Won't make contact, but Shea will. Actually, he's still going for it here, but Spoody will keep him out. And halfway through this game, only 1 goal scored so far. Apparently, Electronic's offense has been slowed to a halt. As I've said in the last game, they need a goal to get things started. They haven't been able to find it just yet. Plays have been relatively minor compared to the offense of Affinity Academy, but they're still getting some chances. They just haven't been all that exciting, and they might need to get a couple more because Yoli's going to take that one. Affinity Academy continuing to shut down Dino Electronic, and this time an overcommit from Covey, and once again, Dino Electronic getting a bit frustrated on offense. These overcommits are starting to hurt them here, and again, they're so used to teams respecting them, but Affinity Academy cannot play that way. You cannot give Dino Electronic space to work because, as we've seen already, this team's way too good to allow that to happen. Affinity Academy, again, playing well to recognize when that Dino Electronic offense does fall apart, when that third player does push up as a pinch off the corner. Oh, it's happened again. Dino Electronic will have a goal back here as again off the corner. And you'd think that Affinity Academy would learn by now not to challenge there, but they continue to do it and they continue to be caught doing it. Another 50 that goes wrong from the exact same corner. And it's Dino Electronic Athletic Organization who, well, so far have needed that goal, and that goal they needed badly is now a bump in front for Covey. And as I said, Once one goal goes in, more are sure to follow. Aura, leading the bumps again, finds Kobe waiting, and Dino Electronic have tied the game up just like that. All the work for Affinity Academy ended in the span of less than 15 seconds. And it's Dino Electronic who will give them no mercy. Off the kickoff, another chance! Oh, that should have gone in for Kobe. That nearly would have been the game lead for them, but fortunately for Affinity Academy, he's missed what has been probably the most open that we've seen for this team so far this series. They will get another chance. Spoody, the bump! Oh, he's done it anyways. Even if Kobe misses, Spoody won't. 1v1 on Shea, removes him from the field. It's Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. 3 goals straight. And all that hope for Affinity Academy may soon be gone for them. Dino Electronic looking for more offense. It's Kobe. By himself, the challenge from Haas. Spoody. Again, another challenge. Aura. Yoli there to help him out, but Affinity Academy are pushing upfield, and being a goal down, they have every right to come back in this game. In fact, I feel like have proven that they deserve to come back in this game. That first half, really that first over 3.5 minutes of gameplay was theirs. They were the better team. They had the offensive chances. They really shut down Dino Electronic. Just as we've seen a bad stretch for Affinity Academy, and that's what has allowed Dino Electronic to be the ones in the lead at this point. Even though, again, I don't believe they actually deserve it with how they've been playing here in this game. And Affinity Academy in front for Shea, and that one saved away by Spoody. Goes on the front post, nearly found its way in. Affinity Academy getting so close and yet so far. The chances not very numerous anymore, but they are coming, and they will find its way to the back of the net. Haas has done it here inside the final 30 seconds. An off clear from Kobe. And it's Haas who will put some power behind that shot. Affinity Academy continuing to keep things close. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. Stem on the offense in the final seconds, and maybe them with the final laugh. Aura, stopped by Shea. Spoody won't challenge here. Affinity Academy will clear this ball out, and I expect this to hit the ground to go to overtime, although Affinity Academy aren't willing to let that happen. Yoli will be stopped, though, and that will end there. We're going to go to a second straight overtime this series. Last one ended early by Dino Electronic. Now this game, even more important for Affinity Academy than the last one. Dino Electronic, again, could create match point here. Again, Affinity Academy, I think they've deserved this game with how they've been playing. It doesn't matter how much you deserve a game or feel you deserve a game. It's overtime. All that matters is just putting the ball in the back of the net. Dino Electronic looking not to break down on that rotation. We've seen them do it a couple times already. The Academy have been able to create chaos, but Dino Electronic again have withstood most of that, although, as we've seen again, 3 goals have not been able to withstand all of it. Azora. A flick now. We'll have to challenge Haas. Spoody. That's in front! That one saved away, but Kobe will put it in! A Dino Electronic will now have quadruple match points in the overtime. It ends as fast as the last one did. Off of offense. Shots and goals galore. Dino Electronic once again taking the game in overtime. No easy feat. Bringing that kind of pressure. Dino Electronic, 1 game away from going to the winners' finals. Going to game number 4. It's Dino Electronic again, continuing to up the momentum. For Affinity Academy, their incredible run may be sent to the lower bracket here. They may have met their match. And we go to game 4. We continue on. Dino Electronic looking to end the series in just 4 games. It's been a wild ride, and we've only gone through 3 of those 4 games. I see a raid coming in from Talks. Thank you for the raid, Talks. Welcome to Sporty Stream. I know one of the players were Team Silent, so thank you for joining in. We got another series action. Affinity Academy, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization in the winners semifinals. Dino Electronic looking to take their 3rd straight sweep win in the upper bracket ends. Here in the winners finals against Affinity Academy, we've seen this series go to the depths of incredible competition. Affinity Academy have been, mere moments away, mere chances away, mere seconds and plays away from taking games off this side, but they have not been able to do so yet this series. And that's why Dino Electronic at this point could actually beat them in a 4-0 sweep. I did not expect them to start off this well, even though I do consider them, again, the stronger team in this match. I did not expect it to be like this. It surprised me every single week with how well they play. Affinity Academy, again, credit to them, they've kept up well. It's just been they've had some unfortunate games go against them in overtime. It feels like a few different factors went different ways for them. They would be the ones that could, keep this series close, could maybe even have this series tied up at this point. Sorry, not tied up, in the lead for them at this point. But it's, you can hope for things. It's very different than actually creating those opportunities. Anyway, Electronic, not been able to score first in a couple games for now, and seeing again in game 4, so much of this being played on defense, but again, their offense is just so quick that really it doesn't matter how much defense they play, they're going to find ways to score anyways, because it doesn't take them long. It doesn't take them many chances to get those shots that will go in. And already they're getting those chances in front. Shea will keep it out. Dino Electronic with the first major opportunity in front of that net. Look for more though. Covey, the oldie waiting in the midfield. A team bump from Dino Electronic will slow down Spooty, but he'll use everything he has to go to the corner. Speaking of him, here's that ball away. Dino Electronic still bombarding that midfield. It's really just a patient Dino Electronic at this point. I mean, no reason not to be patient. They're up 3-0 in this series. Might as well see how Affinity Academy play. Taz, this one, kept out by Covey. Affinity Academy will send it to the back wall. Aura doesn't have it, and Shea won't hit it in either. He must have thought Aura had that save and was intentionally trying to direct it wide of that net so that he wouldn't get the block, but Aura wasn't there. He missed the ball entirely. And for Affinity Academy, that was a great opportunity waiting for them there, but it won't go to them. They cannot think about it anymore. They've just got to restart from where they left off, get the offense again, get the offense going, because here comes Dino Electronic the other way. Covey to the net. Couldn't get the bump on Haz. Failed the attack, though, over. We're getting close to 3 minutes gone so far this game. Still no goals. And usually at this point, one of these teams would have scored. No one's been able to do so. Been that back and forth, that close all series long. And Electronic are slowly pulling this more and more in their favor, but with it still being an absolute deadlock, any team, any player can break it. And at any point, it really feels like that can happen. As a miss there from Spooty will give the space to Affinity Academy, but a bump on Yoldi will eject him from the offense. And Electronic once again position themselves upfield. Covey, infield for Aura. That one hit heavily, and well, it's again Affinity Academy who can make that counterattack play, but Electronic again have been used to that, have definitely been prepared for it, but still doesn't make it all that much more dangerous for them. Again, they just have to play patient and wait, and it feels like both these teams waiting a lot so far this game. The chances aren't coming in numerous numbers here. The goals aren't falling. May only be one chance that separates these two, as Covey maybe has it, the fake, but Yuli will get there. Aura to shoot, that one bouncing to the goal, and it's an own goal that will give the lead to Dino Electronic. The early play from Covey ices the Affinity Academy defense. The follow-up shot from Aura wasn't on target, but it bounces off of Unity. And this is Dino Electronic in the lead. Now they're 1 goal up. Affinity Academy The pressure's on them. The play's on them. They've got to play aggressively, and they don't have much time left. In this game, the timer kicks down. Kobe looking for number 2. And he will get it. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. Leaving nothing behind. As here's Spooty, that's gonna go in. Another goal for Dino Electronic off of the kickoff spot, and this one a little dunk from Aura. Just looking to try to put this as far out of reach as possible. For Affinity Academy, there's still enough time for them to make the comeback, albeit a very unlikely comeback. Can't give up hope here. Their upper bracket spots in the testers. What a touch from Unity! Oh my goodness! I can't believe he got that off the back wall. The second touch used all the boost left. And it's just enough. Late in game 4, with the series on the line for Affinity Academy. They're 1 goal down. They need 2 more to tie things up. Dino Electronic look to keep them away. But it's Yuldi, again, dunked by Aura. This net's open for Kobe, but he won't put it on, and it will be Affinity Academy to keep it away. Shay gets past Spooty, but he's bumped off as well. Dino Electronic continuing to just be that better side right now, holding the possession, holding the offense, and keeping Affinity Academy away. It's another 4-0 sweep. They're going to the winners finals. No one's been able to stop them. No one's been able to even take a game off these guys. Dino Electronic takes down Affinity Academy in a 4-0 sweep. Again, impressing not only me, but the rest of the league as well. This team cannot be beat. Dino Electronic do it again. And they're going to the winners finals off of 15 straight game wins at the very least. These guys, I can't believe these guys are just playing this well. Because Affinity Academy are no joke of a side. And they still beat them without dropping a single game. Unlikely sweep, I'll be very honest, but I mean, Dino Electronic do it, that's for sure. What a start for them. Again, a 4-0 sweep. Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. I mean, that's how this team plays. Simply put, this team, they've done this again and again and again. At some point, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised when they 4-0 sweep their opponents, because they're doing it, and they're doing it all the time, and I don't get how they do it so consistently, but they find a way. This team is just insane. As joining us here to talk about it once again, Aura, it's only been a couple days since you were last on this stream, but you've done it again. You've 4-0 swept another opponent somehow. I don't know how you guys do it all the time, but you do it again. A 4-0 sweep for Affinity Academy. Definitely your toughest match so far this season by the looks of it, in terms of the opponent you played against, and I'm sure you'd agree with that. Even though you 4-0 swept them, Affinity Academy, I felt like they could have taken a couple games off you guys.
They definitely had a chance to. I feel like the games where they scored a lot, we trolled a couple of goals in each game, but the really close ones, they were playing defense super tight and everything, so they definitely had their chances if they got us on the counter.
Yeah, you definitely mentioned that again. They had a lot of counterattacks, and it really felt like for you guys, you got caught overcommitting, which is something that most teams don't dare to try to challenge you guys for this season. But you got caught that way. What were you guys, what were you guys gonna do? Did you guys make any adjustments to the overcommits? Because it felt like by the end of the series, you guys kind of stopped doing that. Did you guys notice as well that the overcommits were hurting you guys? Because it felt like that was the biggest issue for you guys all series.
Yeah, we realized that we really didn't need that full 3-person pressure like we've needed in other series, so we're kind of just letting first and second do what they needed to, and then if our third could push, then they could, but if not, then they'd shelled back. But yeah, we realized pretty quick, like, we were just sending the house too much, basically.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. You guys sent everything. It felt like it was all out offensive, as it has been all so far. Affinity Academy left to play defensively, and as you said again, they kept things close to you guys. Maybe didn't play your best. I honestly think you guys played pretty well. It's just Affinity Academy played so much stronger to you guys. Again, there's tough opponents at the top of this division for a reason, and For you guys, you went to overtime twice as well. Definitely
Yep.
not the first time you've been to overtime, but in this playoff bracket, it might be actually your first time ever playing in overtime. It's definitely
I
doesn't
think
happen
it
often.
was.
I think it is your first time playing overtime in this playoff bracket. So for you guys, it's a whole new level of pressure, not just to play in overtime, but to play overtime in the playoff bracket. So what do you guys have to say about that? The pressure that the overtime kind of brings to you guys.
We kind of knew going into the overtimes that we had control most of the game, and that if we just got that one chance or that one opening, that we could take it. And especially Kobe in Game 3 when he slotted that overtime goal, we really got hyped up and stuff. So it was good for morale that we won that, because if we lost that game, the series probably could have teetered, but we clutched up. So
As you said, again, a big match, a big win. You get to go to the winners finals. You're still in the upper bracket. Been an insane run for you guys, and you continue to surprise people. Although I guess again, it can't be that surprising anymore when you guys do it every single week. But go to the winners finals. You get to play against the winner of Champs or Adrenaline White. Is there anything you want to say about either of those opponents? Obviously, you haven't played any of them, but they're both undefeated, and so far you guys have taken down undefeated teams pretty quickly. What about that series? Is there anything you want to say about the winners finals upcoming, or you have nothing to say? Is it just going to be another match for you guys?
hopefully this is another match for us. We all prep the same basically every week, and as long as the match is good vibes, then hopefully the results are continue to be good. Even if we drop a game in a series, like eventually, like we know we're not 4-0ing through the whole thing more than likely, but like even if we drop a game, it's not something that'll get to us in a series.
Yeah, as you said, again, it's one of those things where you guys, you recognize that you do have mortality. You guys are not a perfect team, and and this series kind of tested that, and you guys still stuck out strong, still got a 4 sweep over Affinity Academy. And as you go to the winners finals, I have a feeling we'll be seeing you again on the stream. I'd love to catch you guys for as much of this playoff back as I can. So far, I've caught you guys in every single series I can.
Yeah.
You guys have been great at booking me every single week, so I do appreciate for you that. Again, congratulations on your win as well, and also. To even add more to that as well, you're the only team left from your group. Team Ignition literally lost earlier today on this stream, so being the last team from your group still in this bracket. How does it feel to be the one team standing and to still be with your upper bracket still being playing this well?
That's surprising. I honestly thought what was it, Sky High Ascend
They
would
lost
go
last week.
further.
They lost
Yeah.
last week. They lost to Black Sail Sloths. We're currently going to be
Interesting.
playing against Calgary Sports United. Yeah, and Team Ignition
Oh,
was the other team that made it to this week, but they just lost earlier today.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how does it feel being the only team left in your group? Because I mean, you knew it was going to happen at some point. There's going to be one team left, but for you guys at this point in your season, is it a weird feeling?
I wouldn't say so. We know that, everyone in our group was definitely good. Some teams, didn't have the best season, but we topped our group for a reason, and I'm glad we're still topping throughout the playoffs. I think we're Group K, so we're representing for Group K.
Yeah, I believe you are listed as Group K. Let me take a look. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're listed as Group K. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the. I don't usually name group names too much because the group name process is interesting for Blackline. They
Yeah.
start Master Series as Group A, and then they go down the list like that. But again, yeah,
Gotcha.
you guys are representing your group. You're the only team left. You're considering to just be unbeatable. It's now what, 15, maybe even more games straight of winning. Nobody's been able to beat you guys when it comes to games specifically, not even series. Series, you guys have not lost yet this season.
I think it is. Yeah, it's 15
15.
straight games.
Well, it can't be actually. It has to be at least 16 because you've won every match so far.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
no, because the last week of the season was a 3-0 because it was best of 5. That's why it's
yeah, then when you
15.
played against Sky Ascent, I think did they beat you in game 4? I think they were the ones that beat you in game 4.
They were the only team that beat us twice. Sky High was. We went 3-2 against them.
Yeah, I remember you went 3-2, so I think it was like 16 straight games of winning. That's
Mhm. Oh yeah, me.
a long run for you guys. You guys have just been absolutely incredible. But again, congrats on your win. Thank you again for joining me, Aura. I know we're probably going to see each other again in the future, whether it be in Blackline, whether it be in other leagues. I know you guys are probably going to be branching out to other leagues as well. But before we kind of sign off and end this thing, any shout outs you have? Anything you want to say? Is there anything different this time? Anybody else that you want to thank? I know there's been so many people that you've had to thank, and you've already kind of gone through that list multiple times. But is there
Hey,
anybody that tonight that seems kind of special to you?
same people as before. Just the boys, my girlfriend for watching and supporting, and Coach Sifri for being there for us.
Again, congratulations on your win. A victory here in the against Affinity Academy. A 4-0 sweep. Once again, nobody can beat you in the playoff bracket or in the season at all. You're going to the winners finals. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll see you again because I'd love to cast that winners finals no matter who you play against.
So hope to see you there, Sporty.
And that was Aura there, joining us from Dino Electronic Athletic Organization on 4-0 sweep over Affinity Academy. We've got to see them every single week in the playoffs. It's been an insane time. But that's it for now. We're going to get a little raid going. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. Before we leave, obviously, we'll tell you about what we saw today. 2 sweeps. Sloth Dojo takes down Team Ignition. Affinity Academy takes down Dino Electronic Athletic Organization. Sorry, Dino Electronic Athletic Organization takes down Affinity Academy. All the way around. 2 sweeps. But man, what a night it was for Blackline Championship Series action. We'll be live again tomorrow, but for now, it's the end of the night for us. Thank you so much for joining the Sporty stream. Take care. Be well.